Hello, top of the morning. It's episode 9 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. Hello, everybody. As always, Elijah Lennon here. And for this week, it's just me. The reason why I'm doing this on a Saturday instead of a typical Friday evening, 5:30 p.m., whether it be pre-recorded or live streamed, is because I was just super lazy and barely could get around to making the show. I tried as hard as I could, but it was just a lot of other things kind of came up, and it was a little bit difficult to kind of just keep up with what I was trying to do. But hopefully by next week we will have this upcoming show pre-recorded, and also we will have panelists. So depending on if their schedules are full or depending on if they're busy or not, we're gonna have Wyatt Walker, Zachary Taylor, Sean Arden here, depending on if their schedules are free or not. I'm hoping that they're free, but at the same time, if they're not free, I totally get it. I totally understand. But having yourselves a really good start off to your weekend. I know we got a lot of racing at Phoenix today and also tomorrow, not just in real life, but also in NR. I know Josh is Josh T, or some people may know him as Josh Williamson, by his driver name. He's got some races going on that are going to be happening today and tomorrow at Phoenix for his Scott's Grand National Series and also his Cabela's Cup Series for NOFSRL. Napa Fan is also going to have some races going on at Phoenix as well. And also, obviously, you got NASCAR, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series at Phoenix today and tomorrow. So, you got a pretty decked schedule at Phoenix. I mean, Arcom was already at Phoenix. That we already went there last week, so we already got our stuff done and out of the way. But time to actually get on to the main intent for this show, and that is to actually go through some of the topics that we've got. Starting off with reviewing Las Vegas. Just for me, I thought it was actually pretty good. I only saw the last 77 laps of the Cup race, and that was the last stage, and that was caution free for the most part. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm back. The downsides of doing this in the morning and talking in the morning is just sometimes there's a lot of buildup of stuff in your mind in the morning. But no, the weekend, from what I've seen and heard, was actually pretty good. I mean, I'm actually very surprised. First of all, that John Hunter Nemechek won the truck race. He ended up beating his boss, Kyle Busch, for the win, which honestly, I was 99.9% set on Kyle Busch winning, because that's what happens all the time in the truck series. When no matter how many times he steps into a truck, he somehow will just mash his foot all the way down on the floor and just let that car just circle around the track, dominating every single lap, and just vice versa. But we didn't get that this week. It was, well, actually no, I think we kind of did, but not near the end. So it was John Hunter Nemechek instead of Kyle Busch going ahead and taking the win. And I'm telling you, I mean, I think this actually was a pretty good move on Kyle Busch's part to take to sign Nemechek into one of his trucks, because John Hunter's a really talented driver. It's shown when he drove for his dad's team. It's shown when he's driven for GMS in Xfinity. It definitely has shown when he has had some good runs in Cup as well. So I think it's a win-win to have Nemechek on the team, and hopefully that this means something good for KBM. But then again, I don't know. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. I didn't see any of the Xfinity race. I did hear that AJ Allmendinger won, which that's amazing. In his first full-time season back, 4 races in, already winning. That's also on top of that. College racing is just, like I said, and like a lot of people have been saying, they've just been getting so good. And seen as how they've already gotten their first win within the last 4 races. This is the quickest that they've ever won. Keep that in mind. So, that's... I don't know what really else to add on to that, but it's pretty cool to see AJ Allmendinger win for his first full-time season back since 2018. I mean, that's pretty freaking amazing. That's all I can really say about it. I mean, I don't really have much of an opinion about the Xfinity race. Like I said, I didn't watch it. There were some things that I thought were actually pretty obvious that we predicted was going to happen, like Riley Herbst was some of our drivers to stay away from. Riley Herbst was. And lo and behold, he gets into an incident with Ty Dillon. Both of those drivers ended up having some really bad runs, especially Herbst. He ended up retiring on lap 56, and Ty Dillon was able to keep going. But I think he was just a handful of laps down. But no, it's a good deal for Colleague and Allmendinger, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store for not just Allmendinger, but also just the team altogether. And then the Cup race, I was kind of not expecting Larson to win as quick as he did. I really wasn't expecting it at all. And I wasn't even expecting him to dominate either, because I was looking at, like, some people were saying, I think he was just the Fox, I think it was Clint, Jeff, and Mike, they were saying that Larson had dominated the race, and I was like, really? Did he actually dominate? I looked at how many laps he led. It was 103 laps. I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, he did dominate. He must have had a really good car, and he did. And he ended up winning fourth race of the year. And this is actually the quickest that he has ever won in his Cup career. This is quicker than 2017. It took him until race 5 at that time to get his first win of the year. This took him until race 4 to get his first win of the year. That's quick. That's one race quicker. But as far as for him being back in the Cup Series, that's the quickest I've ever seen. That's just unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts on Vegas. I would go through the top 10, but that would take a little bit to get the finishing order up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grade the weekend. Honestly, this weekend was okay. It was actually pretty good. Like I said, I really didn't see a whole lot of the Vegas weekend because most of it was already on cable. And as far as the Las Vegas race for the Cup Series, I missed a good portion of it. But I only was able to catch the last 77 laps, as I said. And the racing in the last 77 laps was not too bad. But at the same time, it was a green flag run throughout the rest of the way. But, I mean, it is what it is. And there's not much you can really do about it. But I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to give this grade for the weekend a B+. Because the action, from what I've seen in highlights, was actually not too bad. That's really all I can say about it. Is the action was not too bad. See, this is actually kind of the downer of doing a show by yourself. Is because sometimes you're not really sure what to say or what to do. So, it's kind of tough, but. All right. So, now I'm going to go ahead and get on down into some of the topics that I had set for this episode. And this is actually a potential championship threat because of his win and how quickly he was able to win and how dominant he was at Vegas. Is it a sign that he could be a potential threat for the championship in the near future? If he ends up putting himself in that position, yes, he very well could be. We're coming up on race 5 tomorrow for the Cup Series, so it's kind of up in the air on how he's going to do throughout the rest of the year. But I mean, but there's no doubt in my mind that Kyle Larson, very, very talented driver, one of the most raw, talented drivers I've ever seen in a long time. Especially if you put him in Hendrick Motorsports equipment, he will definitely make those cars go wherever he wants to go. And he'll drive the wheels off of them as well. So I mean, that's another thing to add on. So like I said, there's a chance that Larson could be a potential threat for the title if he puts himself in that position. That's really all I can say. So the next one is just something that I wanted to put in because I noticed the stands at Las Vegas were basically a quote-unquote sellout because of the fact that it was a limited capacity. So that's why it was considered a sellout. But I will say that it was great to see that many fans in the stands at Vegas. It almost kind of reminded me of back before this stuff came up. It was really good. It was good to see fans back in the stands. I mean, especially a lot of fans back in the stands, because it's kind of a sign to me that, cases and COVID are starting to decrease. They're starting to decline. And we're on the right track. But I'm still kind of concerned about Texas, though, because then again, we're so close. I'm just concerned about the spike. But as far as Vegas is concerned, I mean that it's a little concerning to see that many fans in the stands because you're just worried about the spike. But hopefully they've had some guidelines set in place with the masks and the social distancing and etc. I mean, they might have. But I don't know everything that Vegas did. That's just what I'm thinking. But then again, it was cool to see that many fans in the stands again for the first time, and as far back as early last year, very, very early last year, before this stuff had actually ramped up. So I actually have another topic that involves 2311 and Trackhouse, but I'm going to save that topic for later, and I'm going to skip to the next topic, and this is actually something that I wanted to discuss with the panelists, but they're not here. I'm the only one that's here, but the question that I have, what I was going to ask them was, is Hendrick Motorsports, is 2021 going to be the second win for Hendrick Motorsports? It's a chance. There is a chance that Hendrick Motorsports could get a second wind. Part of the reason is that they've won the last 2 races with William Byron and Kyle Larson. Both the first 2 races were 1.5-mile tracks, and they managed to win them both so far this year. And there is a very good chance that we could see Hendrick Motorsports get a second win, because we're coming up on some tracks that I think they'll do really good at. Phoenix, for instance, with Chase Elliott and or Alex Bowman. There's a really good chance that Hendrick could get a second win this year. A second wind. They already got themselves a second win, a second as in victory, but it means second wind as in basically They've gotten themselves another shot at what they experienced 25, 30 years ago. But this time it's filled with young guns. So, it's possible. It's very possible because now, as far as Byron's case, you now have Rudy Fugle on the pit box for the 24. So that means Byron and Fugle are reunited. So they could have a really good year this year, as I alluded to last week. Larson with Cliff Daniels, that could be a really good combination. It's proved to be good from what we've seen so far, but I'm not going to solidify that just yet. So, I mean, it's kind of up in the air right now. As far as just those two teams is concerned, it's also up in the air as far as Ballman and also Chase Elliott is concerned, because we're still very early in the season. So we have yet to actually figure out if Hendrick Motorsports is going to get a second win. So that's just what I'm thinking. So we're just going to have to strap in and find out. It is time now to preview Phoenix. We've got the Xfinity race tonight, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, and then also we have the Cup race, which is tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and that is, but Phoenix. Phoenix is just another one of those places where you could have a really wild and exciting restart, but also a chaotic one too, especially now that especially since the start-finish line is placed where originally Turn 2 was at the time with the old Phoenix configuration. So, we're going to obviously see some crazy restarts, a lot of drivers taking the dog leg, and a lot of drivers also sliding around in the desert, The sun most likely is probably going to be out, so we're just going to have to strap in. When you got a lot to expect over there, especially since it's the home to the championship race, but it's also home to race number 5 for the Cup Series. And, I'm not really sure what else to add on to there, but should be fun. Okay, so now it is time to get on down to predictions. Before I go ahead and reveal the rest of the panelists' predictions, today you have Wyatt Walker with the points lead with 26 points, myself in second with 23, Sean Arnott with 10. Finally breaks the tie with Zachary Taylor. Taylor is now fourth with 9 points. Everybody else from Stapleton, Crampton, Moore, Rain, and Kendall, those are the drivers that are tied for fifth with 0 points. So they have yet to actually get on the board. But we give you a driver who we think is going to win. We give you a driver who we think is going to stay away from. And we give you a driver who we think is going to be the dark horse. If you've watched for long enough, you already know you pretty much already know the thing I usually say for the explanation on driver to win, driver to stay away from, and dark horse. I couldn't quite figure out what I was saying. Dang. Now the search is on once again to try to find the prediction music that I've usually used. But all right, here we go. For the predictions that everybody else has put down, Wyatt Walker had chosen for the Xfinity Series, his dark horse is Ty Gibbs. His driver to stay away from is Ryan Sieg, and his driver to win is Justin Allgaier. For Cup, which he had put in all caps, his dark horse, Daniel Suarez. His driver to stay away from, Michael McDowell. And for his driver to win, Kyle Larson. That's actually pretty interesting. Larson winning at Phoenix and also going back-to-back in the process. That should be interesting. Hopefully it does happen. I'm hoping it does happen. For Zachary Taylor, his driver to stay away from, Michael Annett. His dark horse, Jeff Burton. His driver to win, Ty Gibbs. I mean, Ty Gibbs actually has done pretty well at Phoenix, but half the time it's mainly just the equipment that makes him do good. Anyways, for Cup, his driver to stay away from, Chase Briscoe. His dark horse, Eric Jones. And his driver to win, Alex Bowman. For Sean Ard, his Xfinity predictions, I can't even speak. His driver to stay away from, Riley Herbst. His dark horse, Austin Cindric. His driver to win, Ty Gibbs. We got 2 for Ty Gibbs. For Cup, his dark horse, Kevin Harvick. His driver to stay away from, Eric Jones. And his driver to win, Denny Hamlin. Okay, so now you have heard the other 3 panelists' predictions. Now it's time for mine. Okay, I'm going to try to get on down to it. I'm just going to go ahead and open up the entry lists. For whatever reason, it pulls up a like a completely different search engine to open up the playlist, entry list, not playlists. What am I thinking? Playlists. This ain't Spotify. But okay, here we go. So for my driver to win, I don't care about this. No, it. Oh my gosh, this is. Okay, this is getting. Okay, there we go. Okay, anyways, so for my driver to win, there's something that popped up and I was trying to get it off my screen. But anyways, I'm struggling a little bit. So, my driver to win. You hear the dogs go off. The dogs start barking. They're going off on something. I don't even know what it is. But anyways, for my driver to win, I'm going to go ahead and say, it's actually pretty tough though. You know what? So far, they've actually been doing really good this year. In these last few races, both of these drivers have actually finished second and third quite a few times this year, and they've done super good. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Brandon Jones is going to be my driver to win. My driver to stay away from, man, this is starting to, I feel like he's a pick that's just starting to become easier and easier and easier. But Riley Herbst is going to be my driver to stay away from. Listen, he's starting to become an easy pick as the driver to stay away from. And it's incredibly sad because he is driving for Stewart Haas Racing last. He's finished, okay, so for context, he finished 26th at Daytona, the Oval. He finished last, I believe, on the road course. For Homestead, actually, I'm going to see where he finished for Homestead. Just going to take a little bit. Last week. Herbst finished. Oh, he finished 11th. That is his best finish of the year so far. It was an 11th place finish at Homestead. You know, the dogs are going off because I do believe that my sister had come over with her dog. Let me see. Oh, yep, that's the case. So you're gonna be hearing a boatload of dogs going off, but anyways, that still is not gonna change the fact that Riley Herbst is gonna be my driver to stay away from. Dark horse, however, I'm just gonna go ahead and say he's been doing in Xfinity. Daniel Hemrick is my dark horse. As I alluded to, both of the Joe Gibbs racing cars of Hemrick and Jones have done super well this year. Both of them have just done oh so well. Let me actually get the results up. No, let's go back. Let's go all the way back to the season opener. So, actually, all right, yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. Daytona Oval, Daniel Hemrick, he finishes 9th. However, Brandon Jones, after winning the first stage, got taken out at the end of stage 2. He ended up finishing 38th. But then, this is where the performances start picking up. Daniel Hemrick finished 3rd. Brandon Jones finished 4th. Homestead. Brandon Jones finished 2nd. Daniel Hemrick finished 3rd. Last week, Las Vegas, Daniel Hemrick finished 2nd. Brandon Jones finished 3rd. So those two Joe Gibbs cars have been doing so well so far this year. I think they're going to keep this going. This time, since Brandon Jones won at Phoenix, I think he'll do it again this year. And maybe Daniel Hemrick could finish inside of the top 5 again. I mean, there's a very good possibility because like I said, they've just been doing so good this year. Both of those drivers in particular have just been doing so well. All right, so now for my Cup predictions. My driver to win. Ooh, this actually is a little tough. But I'm just going to say for my driver to win. This is tough. This is actually really tough. But I'm going to say for my driver to win, I'm going to pick Denny Hamlin is my driver to win. My driver to stay away from, on the other hand, this will be a little tough, but at the same time, probably not. But I'm probably going to have to go with the obvious here and continue with the bandwagon. But Bubba Wallace is my driver to stay away from. I'm sorry, but Bubba in 23-11 has just not had themselves the ideal season that all 3 of them have been looking for. And I don't think it's going to continue this week. Dark horse, however, Chase Elliott. What more can you say? Chase Elliott, this is actually a really good track for him. He's won at Phoenix to nab the championship last year. He's done super good at Phoenix. I'm picking Chase Elliott as my dark horse. But alrighty, that is gonna do it for episode number 9 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. Final thoughts from me is, first of all, yeah, I do apologize for not having this show up, for not having this episode up on time or pre-recorded as well. I've tried as hard as I could, but I just couldn't do it. But you know what? We're still doing it anyway for the most part. We're getting it in before the weekend officially gets underway, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen in Phoenix. So strap in, hold on tight, because it's gonna be fun. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead, give it a like. If you're not considered subscribing yet, recommend. And on behalf of Wyatt Walker, Sean Arndt, Zachary Taylor, I know they're not here, but I'm gonna do it I'm gonna say on behalf of those guys anyway, because they're the panelists that have been showing up weekly, and they're the ones that kind of make this show happen as well. So, and same for you guys as well. Even though I don't care if it's just one person watching or 2, this show would not be possible if it hadn't been for you guys. So thank you guys a lot for that. But anyways, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, by the way, one more thing: 11 o'clock, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. And also, Cards Against Humanity Game 6 of the Kyle Weekly Series will be tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully, guys, you can come on back for that action. And that's about it. I'll see you guys later.